Hey, grade 7s. We're taking a look at measurement 3.6. This is volume of a rectangular prism. So Phineas has got a job working at a dockyard or something like that, and he's got these enormous shipping containers. And he's got these boxes, and he wants to know how many boxes can I fit into the shipping container. One of the things he actually figured out right away is he stacked a bunch of boxes against the very back, and he figured out how many that was. This is actually a really good volume question, because if he knows how many he can fit into the very back, like the row, and he multiplies it by the height, or the length in this case, of the shipping container, he actually knows how many boxes he can fit in there. We're going to explore this concept a little bit further. This is volume of a rectangular prism. Volume is the amount of space an object occupies, and it's measured in cubic units, so like meters cubed or centimeters cubed. Both of them are very common in math. Now, the amount of space an object occupies, what that means is, like, if you've got a little cube and you set it down in a classroom, basically what you're doing is you're looking at the whole three-dimensional space of the classroom, and you're saying, well, this little cube occupies this much space within the classroom. We have to figure out what the base of the shape is always. That's where we are at the beginning, because we're going to get to the formula in a second. It's the face of the prism that shows the named shape of that prism. Okay, so what that means is these are all rectangular prisms, right? Rectangular prism, rectangular prism, rectangular prism. So the base is the rectangle. Now in this case, there are two rectangles. There's one that's 3 by 6, and there's another one that's 3 by 4. Let's just pretend for a second that this is a square. The rectangle then would be the bottom here or the top here, not the ends. So the base in this case would be the named shape. So there you go, rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. So, oops, I don't know how to show you that. So how do we calculate the volume? Volume, here's the formula right here. So you take a moment, pause the video, and write this down. Pay particular focus to this, the area of the base. It's going to come in handy when we're doing cylinders and triangular prisms or square-based pyramids. You'll see why a little bit later on. What we do for the formula of this is we multiply the area of the base times the height of the prism. Another way of looking at it is, if I know the area of the base right here, that's like the hashed in lines right there, and I think of this as a slice within a rectangle. Well, if I multiply that by the height, what I'm doing is I'm saying how many slices are there? And it's basically how much space does this occupy in total. So given this, if the area of the base is 35 centimeters squared and the height of the prism is 3 centimeters, I want you to calculate the volume. So try it now and then reveal. So we substitute our values. We've got the area of the base, we know is 35 centimeters squared. We multiply by the height of the prism, which is 3 centimeters, and we should have gotten 105 centimeters cubed. Let's try this. Here's another one. We're given one where the area of the base is 18 meters squared. We're also told that the height is 8 meters. Back to the formula. Let's just go back to this for a second. It's the area of the base times the height of the prism. So given that information, who is correct? Is it Phineas, Ferb, or Candace? Phineas said 18 times 8. Ferb says 18 plus 8. And Candace says 18 times 8. So these two are going to be correct in their formula. Ferb is definitely wrong. But the calculations are different. He came out to 2.25 and she came out to 144. We know by estimation that 18 is really close to 20 and that 8 is really close to 10. So if you did 20 by 10, we know that that equals to 200. So who is going to be correct? Candace is correct. Ferb got points for his formula, but he got deducted. He got dinged a couple points for his final calculation. Let's think a little further now. In grade 2, you learned about family of numbers. And for example, 10 is the product of 5 times 2. And there's something about the relationship of 10, 5, and 2. And this is all about family of numbers. You'll see where I'm going with this. We know that 2 times 5 is 10. We also know that 10 divided by 5, so 10 divided by 5 will equal to 2. And the same thing if we go 10 divided by 2 will equal to 5. The same thing works with volume. This is what's so neat about the formula. If we know that the area of the base, volume is equal to the area of the base times the height, we can actually flip this around using our family of numbers, what we had back here, to figure out, instead of always looking for the volume, we might be looking for the area of the base or the height. So take a look at this. Write these three down, it's really important. Volume, as we know, the formula is area of the base times the height. What if I wanted to find the height, and I was only given the volume and the area of the base? Well, in this case, we do the volume divided by the area of the base. In the third case, where I'm looking for the area of the base, and I'm only given the volume and the height, I take the volume divided by the height. Let's put it into practice. I'm given a rectangular prism. I'm given the volume of 200 units cubed, and I'm given the height. I am not given the area of the base. But I don't panic, because I remember from the previous slide here, guys, that I don't have the, sorry, what am I missing? I'm missing the area of the base. I'm looking for the area of the base. Well, the area of the base formula is this one, volume divided by height. So let's try that. Area of the base is volume divided by height, or 200 divided by 10. The area of the base is 20 units squared. All right, try this one. You're given the area of the base of 12 centimeters squared, and you're given the volume of 72 centimeters cubed. We have to figure out the height. And so when we go back to the formula, we might remember that height is equal to volume divided by the area of the base. Remember the family of numbers, okay? So it's really important to go back to those family numbers. When you get stuck, just think about 10, 5, and 2. So I'll slide this over to show you. It's 72, the volume, divided by 12, which is the area of the base, which is 6 centimeters, and that gives us the height. And try to find the height. Last one. You've got the volume, you've got the area, you need the height. And so let's slide this over. I didn't do the answer. All right, have fun finding that, guys. Take care.